and dies. Among those who desperately, desperately want to see this case solved are her neighbors in Lake Elsinore. Our producer found this memorial that they have set up. Her neighbors, those who loved her in this town, maybe some who didn't even know her, but love her in death and want justice for her. This is the street where she used to live. And this is the growing memorial that has been built to honor her in death. It's also the street where presumably her family still lives. So likely they are seeing this on a regular basis. We do know tonight that Celeste's remains have now been released to her family and that her family is planning a funeral for her on October 4th, presumably in Lake Elsinore. The fact that her remains have been released right now, that is striking, because the LA Medical Examiner has not announced, quote, the mode or manner of death. Police are treating it like a homicide. But if there's any evidence that actually proved it's a homicide, they're not saying so. They're not saying anything. So again, we took our cameras and our crew to Celeste's hometown. And our producer shot this video of the scenic part of where she grew up, so you can see how beautiful this town is. The views are spectacular. I mean, look at this. It's sort of surrounded by mountains, halcyon existence. It's about an hour's drive from Los Angeles. So yeah, I guess you could commute. Lots of people do. Or you could just decide to live in a quieter place like this. But we now know that Celeste didn't want to be here. She went missing from this town at least 3 times, beginning apparently in January of last year. That time, sources say she was discovered by LA police a month later in the Hollywood Hills, where David took up residence in a very expensive rented house beginning in February. Celeste also ran away in March, and then again for a 3rd time, the final time, in April. We know from a missing poster that was circulated back then that police were on the case. But you would think after the first incident, when they got her in the Hollywood Hills and brought her home, you'd think they'd know where to look when she took off a 2nd time, and then a 3rd time. When Celeste was in Lake Elsinore, she hung out a lot at this store. It says liquor store, but it's actually a liquor and convenience store, and the school bus actually stops right by it. So our producer decided to pay a visit and stop by to take a look, because this location is key in this case. It is key in Celeste's story, because it's one of the last known locations where Celeste was seen before disappearing the 2nd time in March of 2024. And it is also the place where her family came looking for her. The owner of the store remembers seeing Celeste often and reportedly gave her family video from his security cameras during one of the instances when she ran away and they came to ask him for help. Have you seen her? Can you show us your video? You're going to hear a lot more about what was on that video in just a moment, so stay right where you are. And I want to be really clear about one thing, okay? It has not been definitively proven that David and Celeste ever met at all, though online videos and pictures and chats and conversations and live streams, they sure seem to prove and show otherwise. What is definitively proven is that Celeste had a boyfriend named David, and that the singer apparently had a girlfriend named Celeste. Let's also remember that David has not been charged with any crime. David has not been named a suspect. David has not even been named a person of interest, and no one that we know of is in entourage has been named a person of interest either. Mum's the word on all of it. But man, do I have questions. So earlier today, I reached out again to a colleague at TMZ, and TMZ has owned this story right from the outset. So here's some of my latest conversation with executive producer Charles Latibeaudiere. So I was so excited when I saw some video that purported to be video of potentially Celeste in the balcony at one of his concerts over the summer, which would have given us some timeline. It just didn't seem to pan out, though.
Yeah, you know, I get why people online were really into this video and thought that this was going to be, critical to the investigation. There is this woman, the video is David in concert from, it's either August 23rd or 24th. He had 2 shows in Silver Springs, Maryland. And there's a woman in the balcony who he actually acknowledges, looks up at her. She certainly could have been Celeste. It looked like it. And a lot of people immediately latched onto this. But we have been told by a source that is connected to the case that it is not Celeste, and therefore it doesn't do what we hoped it would do, right? That if this actually were her, then we would know that she was killed within a, roughly 10-day period. At some point during those 10 days would have been when she was killed.
There is rampant speculation and theorizing and conspiracy theories online, and a lot of it has to do with pictures that people think are Celeste. And it's really clear to me that there are several different people in his world that look like her. For instance, the video of one of the songs has a girl who looks exactly like Celeste, the same hair, and it is not her. Her credit has a whole other name at the end of the video.
Yeah, we, that was when we saw that rumor online. We looked at that video one day and broke it down. We watched it backward, forward, we slowed it down, we froze on it. And really people looked at it for a while and they're like, it could be, it could be her, but yeah, it's, look, you have a Latina young girl with curly hair, and immediately everyone goes, oh, that must be her. That must be her, because everyone is wanting to make links here. And like, that's what happened with the video from his concert. Look, it's just hard to tell. And the reason, normally we can verify these things because you can speak to someone who knew, you can speak to a family member, you can speak to someone who was at the event, and those people have not been coming forward. And, obviously some of her family members, her brother spoke to NBC here in Los Angeles, but not on camera.
And very early on.
And very early on. So it's just hard to find these people.
You know what, Charles? It's giving Idaho 4 vibes, because the entire University of Idaho shut down. Kids wouldn't talk. And that's not normal in our line of work. Kids always talk, especially teenagers and older teenagers and 20-somethings, they talk. But in Idaho, nobody, the police, the city, the university, the parents, everybody was locked down by the police and by the administrators, probably for good reason. It certainly preserved the prosecution. This might be what's happening here, that the players involved have been locked down by the police and told, do not speak.
Yeah, it could be. It could be that. It could be that they are getting, legal advice from someone telling them, aside from the police telling them that they shouldn't be talking about it. We did get one person to talk, and this is not a family member, but someone who knows the family. We spoke to the owner of a liquor store that is on the block, same block in Lake Elsinore where Celeste and her family lived. And he told us he was very familiar with the kids in the neighborhood because the school bus stopped right in front of his liquor store every day, and kids would come in, not for liquor, but come in to buy soda and candy and things like that. And he said that back in March of 2024, at a point when Celeste was missing, her sister came into the store and asked the liquor store owner, hey, have you seen her? Do your security cameras perhaps have any footage of her? He told us that he went back at the sister's request and he did look. And on March 19th, 2024, he did see her in front of the store, go across the street and then down the street a bit and get into someone's car. He said by the time she got in the car, it was out of focus of his security camera, so he couldn't tell what kind of car it was or who else was in the car, but he did see her. What's interesting about that is that it's the first time that we've had a report of a family member actively doing something, searching for her. We know that she went missing several times early in 2024, between January and April. But we were always curious. We talked about it a few days ago, like, why wasn't the family doing more to try to find her?
Let me ask you about the shows in Australia. There's still tickets available. I thought the entire international, this is weird, thought the entire international tour, domestic tour, everything was canceled, but they still have tickets for December.
Yeah, it is very puzzling to me, and I don't know if that's just optimistic that David and his management are hoping that by that point, this is all going to be cleared up and he's going to be free to leave the country. They clearly didn't feel like that was going to be the case for his European tour because they canceled those dates in October and November. What can you read into that, right? Can you read into that David has told them, I'm not guilty of anything and this is all going to clear up, so don't cancel those December dates. We just need to let the investigation play out. Perhaps that's what's happened, but it is really puzzling that they have not canceled those dates yet.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.